Musical.
Welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. How's everyone doing today? I hope your week is off to a good start. Mine is. My sinuses is kicking my butt a little bit, but hey, it's all good, right? So anyway, I hope you all are having a wonderful week. Today's show is going to be so dynamic. Some seeds is going to be planted today. We will get into that in a moment. But of course, I'm going to have to do my spiel. But before I do that, can I say happy Father's Day? And I'm sending love and light to everyone going through not having their dad this Father's Day, right? You all know my daddy passed last year. So it's just, it's pretty bittersweet. So sending you all love and light. Now time for my spiel. Okay, so you should be liking, subscribing, join the conversation, join the group. YouTube is Relationship Soup, period. Make sure that you hitting up the site, okay? On Facebook, it's Relationship Soup Group. Come and join the forum. We are growing daily, okay? And then, of course, you can follow me at Relationship Soup LLC or Lisa Hughes. And then on IG is Relationship Soup. Oh, and also, if you need Father's Day cards for your daddies, we have those at www.relationshipsoup.com. All right, boom. So let me go ahead and get into it today, all right? So like I said, this is going to be another dynamic show. I really love these guests. They will be planting seeds, and you have seen them before, okay? Very dynamic, very conscious, right? And definitely about solutions, okay? So, of course, you remember Jacoby Russell, right? He is the CEO of Knowledge Based Solutions, LLC. And, of course, we have Chris Duckett and Minister Steve-O Ma'at. Right? They are the founders of Ma'at Urban Culture and Industries LLC. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring everyone on. How y'all doing today?
Peace, bless.
Blessings.
Good. How are you?
Blessings. Well, I'm well. I cannot complain. At all. All right. So can y'all thank you so much for being willing to join us today. Can you all remind our listeners who you are? Because it's been a little while. It's been a few months back.
How you doing? Bless. Thank you for having us on. I'm Minister Steve-O Ma'at. It's my love reflection, Chris Duckett, and we are the Hallville Homestead couple, and also operators of Ma'at Urban Agriculture and Industries, or MWI&I. And I'm also founder and chief elder minister of the Kemetic Rastafari Temple, Ma'at 9 Incorporated. And what we do is we're about restoring, advocating, provoking self-sufficient families for a self-determined community. To restore the balance to living. That's overall what we try to do is bring the family back together, back to natural order, back to a communal and collective mindset of what we should be to be able to function as a society.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm Chris Duckett, like he was saying. I'm one half of the Howville Homestead couple. We are the founders of My Urban Agriculture and Industry, Mod 9 Incorporated. I'm the chief counselor and the chief instructor of our educational programs.
And I'm Jacoby Russell, founder and of Knowledge Based Solutions, aka KBS. We're an education consulting firm with ranges all the way from academic enrichment, recidivism prevention, workforce development, parenting, and so forth and so on. We do a little bit of social media management as well through Eccentric Consulting as our partner with that. And I am a partner and member of Moai and I, and I'm extremely excited to take KBS and myself and my personal journey on this path with them and learning more and more about self-sustainability, farming, in our topic tonight, relationship to food.
Absolutely. 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 Now, before we get into the nitty gritty, what really inspired, and this question is for everyone, like what inspired you to like pursue this work, to pursue this mission?
For me, it was personal because I've been as a single father and raising my children, providing for them, seeing the necessity to be able to provide or lessen my time away from the home. So providing for them, I couldn't provide for them and be there with them at the same time. So I was motivated to start growing my own food at home. It kind of came back on me from my first experience in growing food in a foster home when I was 7 years old, when I got to the first foster home. And the experience, I didn't really appreciate it for what it was at the time. And then later, as I grew older, I came to recall that growing up, growing food and started using it to grow food for my family. When I started Moai and I, it was really more of a protest and a way to try to bring awareness to a problem, which was about the family. My son had been incarcerated at the age of 16, charged as an adult, and I couldn't find a not-for-profit entity or a church or anyone to really kind of help me see about the miscarriage of justice for my son. So my idea was really start a business, not so much for a capitalist motive, but more for just to have an entity to bring awareness to a situation. And so the philosophy or the ideology behind it is really to be more self-sufficient. If we're more self-sufficient as a family, as a community, then that lessens our dependency on the system that pretty much is that thrives on on us suffering. So that takes away from our children, takes away from our families, away from one another, from ourselves. And that was a movement that I started with Moai and I. And then my love, we met 3 years ago. I was on another community project, and like a friend had kind of introduced us or told me I should check her out, and he told the same thing about me. We kind of connected, and we connected on that community project and started working together. And she was already knowledgeable of how to work with tools and everything else. So she came to that work site and started working there. It's kind of like magic, and it went on from there. And that's when we started building it and formed as the Howville Homestead couple. And that's where her started coming on her experience in building and applying it and taking the vision and running with it. Like, you want to tell them more about?
And so for me, the motivation came behind seeing how passionate he was, seeing the devastation he experienced from the loss of his son, and I had just met him during that time, and so
That wasn't from before.
yeah, but just seeing my motivation was just seeing how hard you went and how passionate you were, and just enjoying building and creating and finding somebody who had a purpose that he was so dead set on and resilient about and so focused, and it just gave me fire, gave me energy, and motivation to put all that I had to give into the movement. So that's where my motivation came from.
And I just want to note that soon after we met, Father's Day weekend it was, my son returned home. He had served 5 years. So the whole time I'm carrying on this movement, it was it was my fight, my process, trying to get things corrected. And he came home that weekend, and I lost him 6 weeks later to suicide. So at that point, that's when I said I committed my life to the ministry. To just everything I want to do. I commit all my energy into everything I do to put into this movement. So I couldn't see myself going to another plantation really and paying into a system or contributing to a system, even paying, even the bills and things like that, because I know everything that we do, it contributes to part of the problem, part of the prison industrial complex, the school to prison pipeline, that's all part of it. So at that time, I was willing to let my house go and move into a project. We were working on the Plant to Plate project at School 11 out on 42nd Millersville Road. And at the time, I told her, I'm just gonna move into the school, and I'm giving my life to ministry full time. Is what I'm gonna do. And at that time, she had given up her apartment and was living with me, and she actually she moved with me, and that was to me a testament of the strength of our relationship and our bond and our commitment to the movement. She sacrificed with me, and it was crazy. Moved to a school, abandoned property, with no kind of electricity, no utilities. But we homesteaded there and we made it happen. We functioned. We kind of look back in retrospect and actually missed being there at the time. But that was kind of like the birthing of our relationship, there at that school. And when we started our Sustainable Saturdays program, teaching and empowering the community with education, restore the balance of life.
Okay. All right.
I guess just to add to that, my motivation behind all of this is I've always believed in probably 99% of the things that Steve-O has, and we end up coming across each other's paths. And you meet a lot of people in life, and Lisa, I know you can attest to this, in different circles, and a lot of people give you a lot of lip service, and a lot of people, say what they want to do, or what should be done. And when you talk about doing the work, well, let's get together, let's get a plan together. It's always, oh, I got to do this, or I got to do that, and you never hear from them again. And so when I came across and I met Steve-O, I literally got to firsthand see the work that he was putting in immediately. So it's like, okay, you're already doing the work. And then we chopped it up several times and just had long conversations and understood that we have very like mindsets and almost like brothers from another mother. The things I was pushing forth, on social media for a few years before I got exasperated with the apathy from our people. He was 10 toes down and already moving in that direction. And so to see the work that he's done has opened up my mind that there are still people out there who is actually putting in the work. And it's not about, like Steve-O said, the capitalistic side of things. It's about, our people and our relationships with each other, our relationships with the system that we're in, our relationships with our communities, and especially our families and things of that moving forward. So when I saw him doing the work, and then I was still kind of like, okay, yeah, you're doing it for yourself. And then I looked up and he's hitting me back. We in conversation. And then next thing you know, we moving towards things. So we got, I don't want to, push too much conversation forward, but just seeing the work that he was doing, and now that we're working together, man, it's been a beautiful thing that I'm forever gonna be committed to.
That's a beautiful thing. All right. So can you tell us more about your ministry and what you're building?
The ministry.
I know that's really general. Like that's a lot, because you're doing a lot.
Indeed, and it's a very we call it multifaceted approach, but
Yes.
everything is relative. So we learn that everything is related. The problems come in where we envision a disconnect, where everything is connected, but the problem is that we don't see the connection. So, but in total, what we're doing is we're empowering the family, bring it to restoring order back to the family. You know, it has to come back to the family being a functional unit. You know, restoring that order to the community. You know, having that functional community that way we're not dependent, we're insulated from that outside pressure or those other things that are kind of demeaning or degrading to us as a people, as a culture. You know, we everything we do now inside of this construct, it takes away, it degrades from the collective for the benefit of the selfish of the individual. You know, and that's not how it should be. And we see what's been getting us, and we have to do something different. So that's kind of my call to action, is for us to do something different, think differently. You know, why is it we aspire for these things that are presented to us as if we have no other choice? That's the standard, but we're trying to play a game and attain things that we don't have the same tools, we don't have the same resources, the same assets, or the same access to these things, but we, in our minds, or because things are framed in a certain way, that we set ourselves up for failure. You know, so in all, we want to restore the family, and that means empowering the family to be able to take care of itself, to be self-sufficient. We start with the food. I don't want us to be painted into a pocket of being just simple as farmers or as gardeners. You know, this is more about a movement of self-sufficiency. That's why we're called Ma'at Urban Agricultural Industries. That is the name of the company. We need to do things that are essential to life, essential to living. So when we talk about industries, we need things that create these institutions that we need to sustain ourselves. So who's going to take care of the water? Who's going to take care of the food? Who's going to take care of the soil? Who's going to make the clothes? Who's going to build the homes? Who's going to provide the power? You know, these are essential things that we need for a community in order to really be, liberated and be safe to ourselves. You know, and we got to do that. We bring the family back in. We have a lot of men in our community that get kind of that are discounted or disenfranchised. And as of myself, I was an ex-felon. So in being that, my children suffered because of the judgments passed on me. So when it comes to employment or housing, things like this, what is done to me or to punish me after the punishment or the crime was supposed to be paid for, then the children suffer. So we need to correct that problem. And the only way we can correct that is by going at the root cause of it. And the cause of it is a legislation and policy. And if we have a lot of not-for-profits who are forbidden from acting politically, who can't act or do anything political, then they're more of the problem because there's profit in the problem for them. And what we need to do is find a way to access or change these policies. We have to go at that. We can't do that inside the normal vehicle of the 501c3, the not-for-profit, because they're forbidden in acting politically and changing legislation. So us as a 508c1a, we are a religious not-for-profit organization as a church, a temple, technically, but we don't have to sign or ask for permission to be tax exempt, and we can be as political as we want, politically active, because the Constitution and the law recognizes the church as having a higher authority in regards in a different plane than it does everything else. And it wasn't until 1954 that changed, the 501c3 rule came with the Johnson Amendment Act, and that kind of created a template for everybody else to kind of fall in and play in this buddy game, where the corporations kind of do their dirt and their profits. They can kind of take and kick 5% of their profit to a charity or philanthropy, and they get a tax shelter. And then so as long as the problem exists, there's someone for them to keep continuing to do the work that they do that creates the problem that needs relief. You know what I mean? So you have the not-for-profit industry complex. So we are the solution. We're the anti part of that. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. So I know that we wanted to talk about like food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me why the food that you grow is better than what's in our stores. Because I've had some of your food and it's been amazing. Like the watermelons, the greens are amazing.
It's because it's live. You're not eating dead food. You have to eat live food. Natural order, you'll be growing your own food or picking your own food and harvesting and eating it immediately. You know, it's not a natural thing for us to harvest food and to put into a ice box, an ice chest, or a refrigerator. You put dead things in those to stop them from degrading. You know, so when we go to the grocery store and they've picked those vegetables, that produce, a week or two prior to it even being ripe, and by the time it gets to you, it's in a state of decay. So your body needs the live nutrition in it to be able to function and do what it needs to, you know, to build off of. But if you got a Mercedes Benz and you're going to the junkyard to get parts and you got a 57 Chevy drive shaft trying to put on an AMG, you know, then you're gonna get dysfunction. And that's what happens with your body. You're not getting proper food, you're getting dead food, then your body needs a live food. So what we offer in having local grown food and our model is built around making the community the source for the food, is having food grown locally right there next to you. Either you yourself or your neighbors growing it, you know, somewhere near. So we have established what's called the Ma'at Urban Farm Network. And the idea is for us to grow food in the community, to have a community-based food production that decentralizes food production in mass scale. So we have food that's grown in multiple plots that collectively make a large garden instead of having one large farm. That way we have the food right where we at, where the people are, and you're able to get that food live and immediate and fresh. Because, you know, anything you eat your greens outside of them first 48 hours is depleted in 90% of the nutrition. So you're getting nothing out of it. And to start, it only has, if it's grown conventionally in the soil, it only has 10% of its nutrient value anyway. So another plus to how we grow our food is we actually create our own soil using the hugelculture method. The hugelculture actually creates and builds the soil, and so you're getting fully nutrition or nutrient dense soil, and you're getting all nutrition that you should in that and getting it live. That's the difference. And so we have to go back to modeling that local regenerative model. You can't scale or make regenerative in large scale. It has to be local. It has to be where the people are. And our communities should be the head of that, the captains of pioneers of the industry of the regeneratively grown food. And that's what we're doing with our movement.
I want to piggyback on that, Lisa.
Absolutely, please
I just
do.
want to reiterate something he said that I don't want people to miss.
Mhm.
It's something I keep trying to tell people all the time. I don't want you to miss this point. I don't care if you're going to Fresh Time. Maybe I shouldn't even name these places. I don't care if you're going to any of your local markets that say, "Or we're selling organic, we sell this," or your high-end places. People swear by, you know, certain niche markets here in the city or really across the country at that. And they think that, oh, okay, I'm getting something good, I'm getting better, I'm getting the best there is out there. One of the things that Steve-O just said that I don't want to be missed is that these foods, even in these niche markets, these higher end grocery stores, these fancy grocery stores, that food is already dead.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
people don't realize that. You know, something I learned, you know, from Steve-O and Kristen is that about the 48 hours. Once you pick, you know, most of your vegetables within 48 hours, you know, they lose 90% of your of the nutritional value. So while you're going out there spending extra money, you don't realize a lot of times that they are putting colors on the food. They're doing different things to keep it looking
Mhm.
fresh, but you're eating something that's dead. And I think that's what's so critical about the relationship that we have with food and the relationship we have with our community when it comes to trying to distribute food is that like for instance, if you order from us or you come to us, we're not going to pick your greens. We're not going to pick your collards. We're not going to pick your kale. We're not going to, I mean, we got, you know, Jerusalem artichokes. We got all kinds of stuff. We got callaloo. If you've ever been in Jamaica or you know anything about callaloo, it's highly nutritious. You know, we got all these things, but we're not picking them and then putting them in the store. You order and we pick them that day. So you're not getting any time wasted between it comes out of our fertile handmade soil. Like you said, again, you know, most of the ground that even this stuff is grown in, because you got to understand that like Kroger buys from the same people as Fresh Time, you know, Aldi's buys from the same time people as you know, whoever, you know what I mean? Even the soil that you're getting the food out of, you know, you're not getting something fresh. I think that the numbers, if you could do the math, the audience can do the math on their own, but like he said, like you're only getting 10%, and then you're losing 90% of that 10% by the time you buy it off the shelf. And lo and behold, I mean, don't let it be on sale. You already know what that means, so it's extra there. So I think the relationship that we're building inside of the community, and trying to teach folks, I don't want that to be missed. It's not about us making a profit or in a capital, to be in a capitalistic society. It's about us trying to rejuvenate the relationship that our people have with their food so that they can live healthier, and then take that relationship you have with food, and then you're going to live healthier, and then you're going to have longer relationships overall in life with your family, which we're trying to get back to, is being able to have those relationships with our family, because we don't have that as much now, because we're so caught up in that 9 to 5 and then the 6 to 10 to make bills meet, or whatever, and we're losing relationships inside of our home. So the key thing there is, again, I just want to reiterate that, you're losing a severe amount of nutritional value when you're buying out of your local grocery stores. Again, with us, it's coming out of our soil that has not been tampered with, no chemicals, no pesticides, none of that type of stuff. And it's coming directly to you that day. So you're eating live food, so your body's going to be healthier. So the relationship that you have with your body is going to be better.
That makes sense. And to the point you talked about when you were talking about the different grocery chains, I remember reading an article, and it was even talking about how some of those chains, I won't mention them, but they're actually using pesticides. It's not organic. Like, it's not live, it's not organic, and it's not, and it's going to hurt you. And I was looking at this one brother speak about how our food is killing us. It's making us sick. And that's probably because, like you all said, we're not eating live foods. So I thought that was a really good point.
And to your point, your question earlier when you asked, what do we do? So in addition to providing that or that produce that's grown chemically free, and that soil that's created and cultivated, mixed together with our compost that we use, we teach people how to grow their own food, because like we've been saying, you need to have food directly where you're at. So when people give us their issues for why they can't grow food, we give them solutions for why they can't grow food. So we have created all types of growing techniques. We build raised gardens, all different types of raised gardens, from bucket racks to gardens made out of pallets to these grow sleeves that are made out of weed fabric that's been rolled and sold into like a tube and closed off in with holes burned at the top. We have portable units. We have things on wheels. We have so many different options for people, and then we provide the education. So if somebody may not have the space, or they need a temporary solution, or they don't know how to grow, we provide that as well. And then in addition to that produce that, like they've been saying, is picked fresh. So it's farm to store produce, pick to order produce, and we're growing with different other farmers and others. And I'm not for sure, like he was saying, I'm not for sure if any other store or grocery or any other grocer can even,
nobody say pick
that.
to order. I've never seen anybody say pick to order at a store. You can't get that anywhere. That's something we try to get with you.
That's interesting.
All
right, so I have a delay. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Minister?
I was saying, and with that, we're teaching regenerative urban farming is what we're doing. And there's a big move behind this regenerative agriculture now, because now it's trendy, it's hip, it was sustainable. That's what everybody knew. And we first started with Sustainable Saturdays. That's what we were teaching, and wanted to reiterate that, emphasize that regenerative is what we need, because regenerative means you're repairing and replacing things that you destroyed or taken away. And that's what we've done with so much resources. The way we've grown things conventionally, we have destroyed the resources for the future. We're the waters detrimental, The soil is gone, and the future generations need that. And the way we've been growing food is to try to grow. We got a few growing for everyone, and it shouldn't be that way. That's outside the natural order, and you can't have. There's no viable way or sustainable way to do that. You can't scale regenerative that way. So right now we have a partnership with USDA and SARES to actually teach in our workshops. And what we're doing is we're defining regenerative urban farming, because regenerative start with our people. Our people have been doing regenerative farming, growing things, eating things in season, saving the seeds, growing certain crops, intercropping, things like Three Sisters, things like that we've been doing, not out of trend because we understood the importance of giving back and the balance and the order of things, and respected that the reverence of, sacred of life. Everything is to maintain life. And we've gotten away from that all for the sake of trying to make money. And what they're doing right now with regenerative agriculture, they're trying to brand it and make it and market it to make it viable for large agriculture. So they're trying to find ways to define it. When you look at regenerative agriculture, there's a lot of different definitions. But basically, it's going to tell you it's about soil conservation, soil life, sequestration, water conservation, animal husbandry. It's all these kind of principles, but they want to make it apply for a large scale and sell back to us like they did with organic. You understand? So what we've been able to do is put ourselves in a position to partner and do this dance, with historically the devil, you feel me? And take regenerative and define it in a certain slot as regenerative urban farming and make this decentralized, community-based food production system is what we're doing. So that's what's different in implementing our technique or our model for food production. It's community-based, and we have foods that you can't get at your supermarket. You can't get the Jerusalem artichoke, the purple cayenne peppers, the fresh callaloo, things like the chickpeas, that we're going to be growing, the Bini Emo sweet potatoes. These things are high nutrient dense foods, and then we grow things in a way that the foods will grow themselves. They're almost invasive, they grow invasive. So we want to appeal to the next generation of food production to where things will grow easily without a lot of interference, without a lot of input, and actually be beneficial. Growing the mushrooms, intercropping, having 4 or 5 crops in the same one space. And that's what we're doing, what we're teaching, and that's what we offer in our model, and making our community the resource for that, because we'll be the only one, we'll be the go-to source for it. If you want this certain kind of food, or we're gonna get it live and fresh, but we know this community over here where these people do it. And later on, as we branch off into building our homes and creating our power, things of that nature, our community becomes a resource in these industries.
That makes sense.
And we're certifying people to do the same thing.
Awesome. Yeah. Now we do have a couple of comments in the chat. I see Chris has one of them. Sending love from the chat. Thank you, Leah Nicole. We appreciate you. So Derek says, good evening to all of y'all. I couldn't miss this one. What books or other sources would you suggest to get people to understand how critical this is? I suggest the Food Incorporation document, for example.
Our courses.
Well, the only thing, we have an online course, and you also come to our workshops. We have free workshops, but our online course, we break all that down. We have a really in-depth course. It's not just about foreign food or plant food. It's about everything relevant. So we'll speak about social justice issues and the social political issues that are actually relevant to everything. And we make connections where you understand why it's important for us to have a different mindset and a different way to do the things that we do. Because I plug in the current and relevant events to what's going on now, and you'll see the connection to our food chain supply, and even our consumption of everyday products, how we contribute more to the problem and put our future, our own children in detriment in just our lifestyle. Our lifestyle, our standard of living is actually detrimental and the cause of our degradation in the in our way of life, quality of life.
So Lucky says, do y'all worry about having enough to supply people as they come to shop?
That's always an issue. That's really a good issue to have because make sure that we're getting everything to people and they're ready to get it fresh. If not, then it's sitting there, it's going nowhere, it's gonna go to waste. So that's always a good thing to worry about. Right now, having our watermelons, that was a big issue. They came, and once everybody got, hip to them being there, everybody came, and there was a big rush, and now we're out and waiting for more. So I mean, that is kind of where it's part of, I guess, part for the course.
And that's also the reason why we do the whole pick to order situation, because we want people to get the food as fresh as possible. So in the store, we will have value added products like beans, and this is a member based facility too. I want to get away from the term grocery store and shop because this is a farmer, Indies Farmer Hub. We've been partnering with other farmers to bring produce at this member based facility. And so it's not just going to be us at this facility, it's other farmers, other growers, other providers. They have value added products, they have rice, beans,
All of our black
lentils,
farmers.
and they're black farmers, black growers, local farmers, local growers. They have local honey, local eggs, cage-free eggs. And so at the Farmer Hub, we're going to have all of the produce value added products, but we also want to provide produce fresh to the people. So we might not have collard greens in the store. We only have a small amount picked that day because we don't want to have a surplus where we're wasting and where they're just sitting in the refrigerator for hours at a time. We want people, if you
You're not gonna
order,
sell you no dead food.
yeah, we don't want to sell you dead food. So we want people to order their collard, their mint, their sage. We have everything on our website to be able to order, and as more things come and start being able to be harvested, the more products and stuff will add to our website. And then the more other farmers have, they'll be adding to the store as well. We're partnering with farmers from Fort Wayne and Marion to bring lamb, goat,
chickens,
meat. One of our partners has like hot dog sausages that a black man created. We have canned vegetables that are family recipes that have been we've been able to produce and get canned up from some of our partners. So we have a lot of produce and different things that we'll be providing. So if you ever come in, there isn't produce, we always recommend people place an order, and that way you can come and get everything that you need. So your eggs, your bread, your greens, especially your greens, your mint, any kind of produce. We prefer that people order that and then have it picked up. They come and pick it up the next day.
Makes sense. Now, can you share with our listeners what your website?
Yes. So to be able to order the produce, you want to go to i9.org/shop. That's where you can go. You can place your order for your produce. We also have our gear, our merchandise. All of the shirts you ever see us in, they've been designed by us, printed out by us. All of the designs are original. All of the designs are original. We also have BPMs, which are Black Power mixes that Steve-O created, which are a blend of historical speeches from our political leaders, our great knowledgeable leaders, mixed with hip hop instrumentals that really coincide with the message. It brings the message of the song and the message of the speech, and it brings them together. We also have our book for our ministry, which you can get either as a hard copy or you can download it as a digital copy. So there's lots of different things that you can get on our website that help support, and all of the proceeds that we receive go back towards our ministry. It goes back towards providing food for the community, by providing soil, everything that we do, because we're pretty much self-funded. So all of the money that we make from our businesses or our 9-to-5 jobs, I still have one. All the money that we make, we pretty much pour it back into our business. Any grants that we get, it all goes back to the ministry. We're not lavish people. We don't have fancy cars. We don't do any of that. Our whole goal is the mission. So anytime you support us, we're not putting money in our pocket for us to go on vacation, to go travel to the Caribbean. You're putting money into the ministry's pocket that's going back into the community.
That makes sense. Well, I do have a question, because it seems like what kind of resistance have you all been met with what you're doing? Because it is definitely for the higher good of the people on every single level, right? So, like, what kind of resistance, if any, whether it's from the community, whoever, like, have y'all been met with any type of resistance?
I would say the only resistance is kind of like an underappreciation for the value of what we're advocating, you know, because people don't see the relevance or the need for it, you know, and so then it's not really valued, or things get oversimplified, or they want to make it like a novelty kind of item, like this is cute, or you know, and but this is what they're doing, you know, and I you know, it's not really about that. It's really a movement, is what this really is about, you know, and about empowerment. It's about really liberation for our people on a bigger scale. So, but starting with the food, that's kind of like the easiest way for us to start. And I would say that's been for me the most adversarial thing. I don't really understand the bigger picture or what it is that we're really the ideology, what we're really promoting. You know, it's like, well, they're the gardeners, they're the homesteaders, you know. No, this is about us promoting empowerment, self-sufficient families for a self-determined community. You know, to bring that family back, restore our community, because you know it's not natural to be separated from your family all day and then come home and you know kind of reset, do it all over again. You know, that's why we're sick, and we're sick because of the things that we consume physically and you know. Outside, you know, by things we watch and things we tend to listen to, you know, and that's the things around us in our community, you know. So we want our people to really see the importance in being more being more conscious and aware and promote that.
And also too, there has been just a little bit of gatekeeping going
Mhm.
on with the people who are already established in the circle. And I
Mhm.
think that has to do with the fact that we're unconventional. We don't do rules, we do what needs to be done. And a lot of times rules hinder what needs to be done. Rules are put there to prevent what needs to be done. And so we've noticed that in some spaces, there's already an established group of people or established rule set, there's established circles, there's established method of doing things. And because we choose not to go those routes and we're getting it done how we need to get it done, there has been some gatekeeping to those areas. But we don't allow that gatekeeping to prevent us to do, because we're self, like I said, we're self-funded. So we don't need certain routes. We don't need to take certain routes to get where we need to go. We don't need to be in certain circles to get there. Like that's not a necessity. We're still going to get the mission done by any means necessary.
Having a really approach too, also, as you know, we don't have to have over-grandized kind of idea or this picture of how to do things. We need to do what's efficient, what works.
Very
You know,
simplistic.
and we have a very much a Bell mentality, by any means necessary. You
Mhm.
know, and that's what we do, and that's what we implement.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Let's see here. Derek says, "Well, I love it. I'm trying to get there. I promise it'll be soon." LOL.
It's all a journey. We're all works in progress, you know. So I think that's what a lot of people see in us. They see us and everything just on the frame, but there's a lot that goes into this. Like they don't understand. Like we sacrifice everything. Like right now, we live in a trailer.
Yeah.
You know, we live in an RV. We full-time RVers right now. I don't want to contribute to the system. I don't want to give them a red cent to do anything against us. You know, so in my way, I'm protesting with my dollar, with my energy, you know, because that's what they use against us. So, and whatever dollars or whatever energy I have, I use that in the way I transmit it, or I use it to promote more good. And everything we've been doing, it pours right into the ministry to keep going. So everything we're doing is self-funded and moving that way. That's how we've been able to progress. I just the sacrifice that comes with it is, I have to say, I appreciate having my reflection, because we've been through a lot. Like when we first started 2 years ago and we were at that school, You know, I didn't foresee breaking my foot or breaking my heel when I did. And we had just started Sustainable Saturdays. And we did the first one, everything went good. And, you know, it was wonderful. And right before the second one, we were out at Ben Harrison Park. What name of it? Fort Harrison. And going down the hill, I had my baby girl with me, and you know, I had a bicycle accident. I jumped off my bike and broke my heel. We were staying at the school, and this is right before, you know, winter's coming up. And I'm foreseeing, knowing that, you know, it's going to be really cold in there, and we haven't made provisions yet. And my mindset, build a room inside of a room. You know, I know conventionally we can take some 2x4 studs and build wall sections and do that, but I didn't have the means because I couldn't even work. You know, I'm in a wheelchair, and my love is going to work. You know, still at the school teaching and coming back to the school, and you know, I don't have pain medication. I'm supposed to have a pain medication, and everything going, so it's crazy. We're back about how to build this room inside of a room, and she's like, "Baby, I can go out here and get these pine branches, and we can build a room with it." And I'm like, "Baby, no, we got to do wall studs. We got to be 16 inches off center. You know, this is how you can do it. It's not going to stand another way." So we made a way, you know, and I had it was a little structure, some of that was left in the school. We used that kind of doorway entrance. Love came in, did her thing with the pine branches, and we constructed the room, we wrapped it in plastic, lined it with blankets, and we had a room inside of the room. And you know, there was days that the temps was dropping like below freezing. You know, we were able to keep it at least 40 degrees. You know, we had kerosene heater, we had a propane heater, so we had different ways, and we even made cabin heaters. You know, with taking a little what's some pots called terracotta pots. You know, with the little planters and making what's called cabin heaters or depression heaters. You know, and we're doing things like that in the school.
We had the generator.
So we had the generator. We had our water supply, bring our water in. So we made things happen. And mind you, that was really a test of how hard or what we could really do, because I'm in a wheelchair. We inside of an abandoned property. You know, I'm really I'm handicapped. I'm really down and out, and love is still there. She's pushing with me, and she's going to work, coming back to the school, you know, doing everything. We made it through that, you know, and our idea was to eventually we're going to get some land. We're trying to get some land, but we're going to make these sacrifices now.
I think they're frozen a little bit.
Are we frozen?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they frozen. I think you frozen too. Surprised I ain't froze yet.
All right.
I do have a question for you all before we get to the rest of the comments, because I've had the opportunity to, like, I guess, hang out with y'all, right? And the cohesiveness and love, and I mean, it's beautiful. Forgive me for lack of a better term. And one thing I like to focus on with this platform is because the divisiveness between some Black women and some Black men is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Our relationships and things like that, right? Is there any type of seed that you can give, you know, the listeners about curbing some of that divisiveness, or like, I know that kind of general, but like, can y'all share a little something? I mean, y'all are really beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We need one another. You know, we can't do anything without one another. You know, that principle that Ma'at, that we operate with Ma'at 9, is about the divine feminine and the divine masculine come together. That's where God exists. That's where creation exists. So us in creating and having that energy, that's where we manifest the feminine and the masculine principle. You know, in the battery, you have the male end, or the positive end, and the female end, right?
Mhm.
But all the power actually comes through the female, the feminine end, right? The power actually directed through the male end, but the two poles work together, and that's how it works. That's to work together, you know, and that's how we create. And everybody kind of thinks about, like, well, why am I with this person, or how I end up with. We got to realize that we get what we are. You know, there's a brother that I've been listening to the past couple of years named Zoe Williams. Is somebody everybody should check out, but he has a couple books out. But he speaks on, you know, the principles that Krishnamurti spoke about, relationship being a mirror. You know, you get what you are. You don't just get just the good things. You get the law of attraction isn't just about you getting those good things. Those bad things that you have in you, you're going to get those and draw that too. That's the dark lighthouse. So we all really have to work on what's wrong with us and what's wrong inside of us. And as long as we're focused and fixing that and not projecting or focusing on that, what we don't have, what we're trying to get, then, you know, we can work on that and attract what we need or who we are. But we have to fix that first, and start with self. And that's, to me, the biggest thing that I've learned in my journey, you know, because at the point where I wasn't really trying to look for anybody to do things at that time, and I was just committed to my purpose, you know, and I'm on this path right now. And, you know, my friends, everybody else had jokes. Oh, bro, you ain't never gonna find a woman that want to live like that and be like that. Ain't gonna have no microwave in the house, or, you know, silly things like that. But lo and behold, I'm like, at the time, hey, I'll strike out to the woods and I'm ready to go live and be with the Rosses, and I'm good with it, you know. But this was attraction. This is what manifestation is, you know. And with us, we've been able to accomplish everything we've been doing. I have the vision, but she's able to, and with her, when I plant that seed, she manifests. She makes things happen, you know. And that's the dynamic of the masculine, feminine, the principles come together to create. You know, the two come together and coexist, and that's the balance and order. There you go.
And for me, like you said, we had to do self work on ourselves before we got together. We had to get ourselves together. Like I was telling my sister, she just walked in the room about my ring that I wear on my wedding finger. I vowed to myself to be the best husband and wife to myself before I to prepare myself to be the best spouse for him. And am I perfect? No, we're not perfect. Shoot. So it's funny because I had wrote a letter about all the things in a man, in a mate, in a person. And when I met him, literally everything on that note, he met, even from him having kids. I wanted him to already have kids and be okay with me not wanting to have kids. And he was already like, I'm good. I got my babies. I'm good. You know what I mean? So it was like everything. I wanted somebody who already was passionate, who was spiritual, who was patient, who was understanding, who was knowledgeable, who was spiritual, and all of those things. I made sure I was the person that person wanted to be with. So things that I needed to work on about myself, I tried my best to work on, and I not tried my best. I did work on those things to be the kind of person that if I met this man, would he want to be with me? You know what I mean? Do I have enough of the traumas and the other things and the programming that I've been programmed with about the whole man? And that's another thing you asked me. It's the social programming. I stay away from music that talks negative about Black men, that talks negative about relationships. I stay away from TV shows that show negative aspects of relationships, that show Black men and women fighting each other. I stay away from any movies that show Black men and women against each other, like Color Purple used to be my favorite movie. It's not my favorite movie anymore. I think it's terrible.
Absolutely.
Especially, you know, I think the energy that it evokes from us Black women is a programmed energy that we don't need. I stay away from any music that's for the street type music. I stay away from anything that is programming me to say that I don't need my Black man, telling me that I should not love my Black man with all of his flaws, because he's not perfect, but I'm not perfect either. And I think that that's sometimes where we get this programming, is that he's not perfect. Let me point out all of his imperfections, and don't stop and think that he's human. He's been brutalized just like we've been brutalized. So he has the flaws that we have, and it's a reflection. So remembering that he's human, I'm human, we have to give each other grace. And staying away from any negativity, any kind of things that scroll up on my timeline where it's those podcasty things, where it's the alpha male red pill stuff, or the woman, or anything like this where Black men and Black women are like this. I avoid it at all costs, because I feel like it's programming, it's all spell work.
Or the pseudo positive posts that people do. You know what the pseudo positive posts are, right? You know, where they'll say something about not or acknowledging the negative aspects of someone, but bigging themselves up at the same time. Like, why do we have to acknowledge that?
Sneak this in.
Yeah, you know, like it's uncalled for.
Complimenting themselves.
You know, And that's why I don't like the pseudo positive type of
That makes sense.
because you're trying to be positive, but you're still taking a shot at, it's unnecessary, to speak down on the women or the men, but to big yourself up, it's like, yeah, it's crazy, but
That
we
makes
understand there's a programming.
It's the
Lisa, can
program.
I add to that from a
Absolutely,
outside
please do. Please do.
I'm adding from an outside perspective based on what I see from them. One of the things that I've always desired, and I think is desirable should be desired by most couples, is what I see with inside of them is that they ain't really got time to be disliking each other. They're too busy building.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? When you're
I love that.
building with someone and you are
I love
connected with that person with your life purpose, and that
it.
person is connected to your life purpose, even if you came from two different angles and you were over here doing this and that person's doing that, and y'all have a common mutual interest to build on, you don't really have time to worry about what this person's doing over there because y'all are always building together, and that's what more of your conversation is about, and your relationship, from what I see from them, it just continues to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and they're almost, in my opinion, just hypothetically speaking, they're almost like twins. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because they are because they're together a lot. Steve-O is working and doing the things for the mission, and Chris is out here like me as an educator inside the school most of the day. But when she comes in, it's not about, oh, I'm going to complain or I'm just so tired. I'm going to continue to work what we are trying to build because that's what's most important. And I think a lot of couples, they get separated emotionally, mentally, and spiritually is because I'm trying to support my man on this job. I'm trying to support my woman with her career. What happened to us building something together? You know what I
Fact.
mean? So
Mhm.
that's the perspective that I see from my
I
outside looking
want to
in
add
about
on to
them.
that because in our growth, in our development as a couple, there have been times, where, she's even questioned, like, am I losing myself? Kind of like that's kind of saying, am I in my purpose? And as I say all the time, everything is relative. So there's at times where she maybe didn't see what she was doing, how it was important, how it really fit her or how it served her. But I had to kind of like paint the picture of how it was relevant. She's an educator. She wanted to be effective as an educator and to teach and be effective and teach something that mattered and to be essential. And that was kind of how I had to kind of reveal the alignment to her because at first she couldn't really see it. It's kind of, well, we're in this mindset, we just want to do this and chase the dollar and do this and whatever's paying. And a lot of people get following these trends and these fads, the Herbalife, the Uber and everything else that we're doing, the Bitcoin. Everybody's chasing these trends and trying to make money and hustling. But what I wanted her to see was if we chase a solution, if we are after a solution, then if we're after an essential solution, that bag, whatever it is, what's necessary will come. It'll be there because we're doing what is needed, what's necessary, not just trying to go be another a Chinese bracelet wholesaler. You know what I mean? We got to do something effective and more essential. We can't hustle our people for the benefit of ourselves. Give our people something that will benefit them and our community versus just preying on whatever extra or we don't have disposable income. We really understand the state of economics in our community. We don't have disposable income to be hustling one another for unessential, non-essential products and bigging ourselves up for being a big business or black business, and then taking that money that we made to go purchase, from them folks, whatever products and wares they have, so that we can have a sign of status. That's successful. So, being effective, being essential, that's what she wanted to be, and being an educator and seeing that alignment is where we've been able to move forward and find traction because everything is relative and finding seeing that connection is what's vital.
That makes sense. I do see we have a few comments. We are close to the end, but let's go ahead and look at some of these. Let's see here. So let's see here. Tonality Record says, Reese says, dope panel. This is great information for our community. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mark says communication is key. Too busy. We are too busy listening to our own head and not each other.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Let's see here.
I like the hashtag busy building.
Oh yeah, I like that too. Hashtag.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Mark Lee says, thanks for joining us, Mark. Think about how strong our family was during Black Wall Street era, whether it was Durham, Tulsa, Central Park, etc. Women were respected and even led a lot of our institutions at that time.
Yeah, we have a history of a matriarchal society. You know, we have that. But in a natural order, the family was respected. Like the woman everybody had a role. Everybody was fundamental to the function of that unit, of the family, of that community. So everybody was respected equally because it wouldn't function, it wouldn't happen without everybody contributing, being a part of that community. And we moved away from that. So now we're outside of our natural operation and we're trying to operate like the culture that has enculturated us. So now we take on the values that these people have given us in their society, in their natural order things, in the industrial age. When we move from an agrarian society to industrial age, now we have money and industry as a means of controlling, you know, the goods and resources. So they kind of invalidated the woman's position. She was led to more what you call domestic roles inside of their construct because we were living in an unnatural order. And so we always respected and had that mutual respect for our women in our society. It wasn't until we started modeling ourselves in line with the values of this order, of this construct, that we start separating, degrading as a people and as a family, you know, and got outside of our natural order.
Absolutely. Let's see here. In order to dismantle divisiveness, we must unlearn toxic mindsets passed down from generation to generation. You have to have the spiritual maturity to understand that we need each other.
We need each other.
Yeah.
It's bigger than you, it's bigger than me, but it's
Absolutely.
not bigger than we, you know?
Absolutely. Now, Mark had one more question, and then we're going to get out of here. Okay, let's see here. We have some major Black farms here in NC. What advice would you give for folks to maintain their land?
Keep it. Don't let them get it.
Mhm.
That's the main
Facts.
thing. Keep
That
it.
part.
Facts.
Stop selling grandma's houses.
You
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
me?
Stop
Listen.
selling family land. Keep up on the taxes.
That part.
Keep up on the taxes. Keep up on your permits and anything that they can use to come and take away your land. Matter of fact, put it all in a irrevocable trust. Figure out what that is, who you can talk to about getting one set up for you and your family. Put all your stuff in your trust. And that way they can't come and take none of your stuff. But that's what I would recommend. And then do things the regenerative way. It may seem like a lot of put on the front end to change your farm from a traditional farm to a regenerative farm and doing things in a regenerative model. But when you start changing things and doing it in a regenerative model, you'll have less work you have to do on the back end. You'll have less weeding you have to do. You have less fertilizer you have to buy because you created your own fertilizer. You have less synthetic things you have to add. You won't have to do pesticides because you've put intercropped. You put things, planted them next to each other
Yeah, y'all can
instead
see
of
our
planting
greens.
one
Ain't no holes.
Yeah.
Rocket bugs on some of you mugs. Ain't no holes in mine.
It sure wasn't. I can attest to that. And they were delicious.
No fertilizers, no pesticides because we put things together. So we grow in a regenerative way and it's so low maintenance. We don't
Yes.
we just got to go out and water. And then even the way we had to set up the raised gardens, they don't need the water.
You
This
put
the
those in the
smallest
desert, they gonna grow food.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, can you tell our listeners where to find you? And actually, you all are going to be on East 38th Street tomorrow, right?
Yep. Tomorrow, Thursday.
Tell our listeners where to find y'all because I'm going to be there. I know y'all ain't got the watermelons yet, but I'm coming.
We're working on it. We got some things going on with logistics right now. They're trying to hijack us on transportation now. But yeah, we'll be at 2256 East 38th Street. That is Indy's Farmer Hub, a member-based facility. Look for the roster colored fresh produce sign right there connected to the Muslim Mosque number 74. We'll be in there. You can put your order in tonight and get you some fresh collards in the morning. We'll be at Belmont Beach.
On the 22nd.
On the 22nd.
That's been changed due to a scheduling issue It was scheduled for this Saturday, so if you are prepared to come this Saturday, it's not this Saturday, it is next Saturday. And then the workshop that we had scheduled, the certification workshop we had scheduled for that next Saturday, the 22nd, is now bumped to the 29th. All of those things are coming out, so you'll be able to stay updated. But I recommend that if you're wanting to come see us at the hub, you can come there Thursday through Sunday, 12 to 6. Then for our workshops, the 22nd, the 29th, the 22nd is from 10 to 11 at Belmont Beach. The one that's on the 29th is from 10 to 4 at here at 16 Tech, where we're at right now.
So please support y'all. We need help.
Yeah,
we need your support.
volunteers.
We need donations. You know, we have a GoFundMe. We are needing to outfit our trailer. We really need help. We've been going through with our transportation this year. So our truck has been down. It's fixed now, but now we got a nice ransom to pay to get it back. That's been an issue. So whatever support we can get, we would appreciate it, and we'll be blessed. Also, we have Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Normally we're doing our class, our in-person workshop. So some people, get free on the evenings. And Wednesday evenings, we'll come out, get to everybody's destination at 5 o'clock, usually 5 to 9, to work on site somewhere at somebody's, either one of our gardens or one of our members or somebody, whoever's in the class, we can go meet up at their spot and have a class there and teach and share.
So just you can contact us to find out when we'll have classes. You can or if we have produce, what things we have to order. You can call, or text my cell phone. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay.
Always come to our website, donate. You can, and you can also, we have our GoFundMe on there, but you can also purchase our merchandise, because all the merchandise we have on our website is merchandise, and the funds go to everything that we do. You can come to the hub from 12 to 6, Thursday through Sunday. Contact us on the website, email us, Facebook, My Urban Agriculture and Industry, the Hallville Homestead couple, Kristen, Miss Pretty Cousin Duckett, Steve O'Cott. You can hit us up on Facebook. There's a bunch of different ways you can contact us. Donate. You can come out and volunteer your time. You can come out and come learn. Come out to the workshops. Tell other people what we're doing. Share our stuff. So something we've also noticed about barriers is the algorithms on social media. Because we're doing things in a different way, and we're going to get the brain, and what we're representing is all about self-sufficiency and self-sovereignty. We don't get the likes, shares, and promotions that we should because of the algorithm. So if people can like our stuff, if they can share, if they can comment, tell people about us, any of those things help us out, getting the word out about what we do. Word of mouth, coming to the store just to come see what we got. Any of those things, they help us out.
Okay. All right. Kobe, did you want to tell the listeners where they can find you?
I know this is definitely, we're definitely in partnership with Mod 9. It's definitely not about KBS. I definitely want to make sure that that's highlighted more so than anything. But I'm available in the same ways that they are: social media, also knowledge-based solutions, LLC.com.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, Todd Simmons, up in Fort Wayne with Utopian Grocery Store and Restaurant. That's our partner also at the hub. And with he's the melon man behind the scene. That's my guy and my big bro. So everything we're doing is all family. We hooking up this Black Food Sovereignty Network. We're doing it.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much for being here and dropping these seeds, because that's what we need. Being able to at least plant seeds in one person.
I do want to give one more shout out.
Absolutely, please do.
Give a shout out to the Farmers Hub. That is where we're at. We're so excited to be able to be there and partner with other farmers, the Black farmers in the city. If you are a farmer in the city and you are wanting to provide produce, or you wanting to become a member of the facility, we can give you the information. You can contact us, and we can link you with the owner and operator, and she can give you all the information you need to become a member. You can come in and do hours like how we do. We operate the store from 12 to 6. You can operate the store during other times with your produce. You can come in and bring your produce in. There's a shared kitchen. So if you have
Commercial
produce, yeah, there's a commercial shared kitchen. So if you have products that you're wanting to get out there in the world, but you need that commercial kitchen, there's space that can be rented. There's refrigerator space that can be rented. There's so many wonderful things about the hub, and we're so excited to be able to partner to be able to bring this produce to people. So if you're looking to bring your produce to the city, please contact us because we're looking for more people to help us bring produce to the city.
I love it.
Lisa, could I just want to add one last thing, and then
Absolutely.
I want to just I've said this to you in private, but I want to say this to you publicly. You know, I want to give you your flowers and RSG relationship soup group has grown so tremendously over a period of time, and you put in so much work in order to make sure it has a certain platform, not just, you know, you get in these groups and it can go any direction, but your platform has always been about relationships, and I love the way that you're being innovative about relationships and not about just, you know, intimate relationships, but having all of us here today to talk about our relationships with the community, our relationships with food, you know, even more specifically, you know, just shows that, you know, your creativity, and it shows your commitment to growth. And I know that just like anything else inside of growth is uncomfort. You know, you're not comfortable. So I know that through this process, it's not easy for you. You know, you're not just, you know, flinging your hair back and sitting up and typing online and getting this going. This takes a lot of work. So I want to make sure the people understand that, you know, Lisa Hughes is doing very big things. I've done big things with you in the past. I continue to want to see you grow, and I just want to thank you, and I want to thank all of RSG for supporting, you know, not only us, but specifically you and your platform. And thank you for having us to be able to bring in this innovative information. And, you know, this is not something, just like Chris said before, it's, you know, it's a lot of gatekeepers, and you're not one of those. You know, whatever people have out here in this world that is positive, that's good for all people, you are one of the leaders of those forefronts, and your flowers need to be given to you now. People need to recognize. So thank you for letting us be a part of your platform today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You got me blushing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, y'all. So we're going to get out of here. Again, follow, like, share Relationship Soup, period. YouTube, right? Relationship Soup group. Come and join the forum on Facebook, right? Then on IG, Relationship Soup, you can follow me at Relationship Soup LLC. Mama, thank you so much for listening. And I know y'all be listening. I'm shouting y'all out. We appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And as always, take care of yourself. Self-love is everything. Peace.